Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Footy Fan Zone live watch along. And today is a big one, as is a double act and a massive two games that we will be covering tonight on the Footy Fan Zone stream. My name is Kieran Greens. Welcome to this show. Obviously, a very, very live and long watch along that is going to be in this evening, and in the proceeding City, Arsenal for the Premier League title. We'll be speaking and talking and discussing about that game, but of course we must start the supporting act, which will see Footy Fan Zone Civil War as David Moyes' West Ham will host Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. Great to have you this evening. Hopefully you can join throughout the whole proceedings of the show. And joined here is the other co-host and co-presenter of this incredible stream. Please welcome West Ham fan Gary Best. Gary, great to have you this evening. Good evening, sir.
Good evening to you as well. I think it's going to be a good night, and obviously, hopefully for a West Ham win, but obviously whichever way it goes, it goes. If it goes a draw, then I'll accept it. But yeah, hoping for a West Ham win.
Last live stream, of course, we did cover West Ham's host of Arsenal kicking form seems to be the fight that is necessary for this part of the season, and we're obviously going to be seeing them host Liverpool, who has been massively inconsistent throughout this season. Not massively anything to play for Liverpool. Europe this season. Liverpool cannot seem to get the victory today. We are talking about the Man City Arsenal game, but the West Ham Liverpool game are 7 minutes away. So we're going to be giving you guys the team lineups, as you can see here at the main of your screen here, starting off with West Ham at 4-3-3, but seems to be a 4-2-3-1 within possession. Fabianski in between the sticks is a flat backfill of Kufal, Kurt Zuma, Aguard, and Aaron Cresswell. A three-man midfield, including somebody who's recently just got Team of the Week in FIFA. How about that, with Lucas Paqueta alongside experienced skipper Declan Rice and Thomas Souček. Jared Bowen, Mikel Arteta, and Ben Rama make up what seems to be a front three. Gary's comments, concerns, praises for David Moyes' 11 in this game.
There's a praise a bit there. I think he's changing the formation up. We're not going for the same one, and I think it's going to catch a few teams by surprise. Obviously, at the end of the day, it could change to a 4-2-3-1 in possession, like you said, but it might stay a 4-3-3. We never know. I think Paqueta's going to be more of attacking role than Souček and Rice. I think Rice has now been told that, look, we need you to sit when everyone else is attacking, because you rarely see him going up front anymore, only for like corners and all that, which obviously we need height in there. But yeah, I think Paqueta and Souček are going to be the ones pushing forward, and Ben Rama, obviously a class player, quality with his dribbling, and I think he's going to be causing trouble down that left-hand side.
So let's move into the Liverpool lineup here, which sees Alisson in between the sticks. A very unpeculiar back four of Liverpool, with Robertson at left back, Van Dijk and Matip, and Trent Alexander-Arnold, whose new position has caused some massive debate and been analysed massively, with him seeming to move into that midfield. Let's see what happens this evening regarding that one. Curtis Jones remains his place in the midfield alongside skipper Jordan Henderson and Fabinho. Jota, who has been seen scoring a few as of late since he's come back from an injury, will see him on the left-hand side, Salah on the right, and Cody Gakpo up front. Darwin Núñez not seeming to find a place as he remains on the bench. So a very, very interesting game. Basically, what we're going to be talking about here is that Gary will be operating that game. And then I will be operating the big title decider between Manchester City and Arsenal. So Gary will be taking the reins of that game, speaking about that for the first 15 minutes. And then we'll be sharing the responsibilities as well. Looking at the league table, if I just briefly get this up for you. And we spoke massively about Liverpool's Europa League potential, currently sitting in 7th, but Brighton do have a game in hand, and sees, as you can see on the screen there, is now 0-0 against Nottingham Forest, who are in that relegation zone. As you see, West Ham seeming to be safe, currently sitting in 14th. 3 wins in the last 5 games. Of course, that draw coming to league leaders Arsenal. Gary, it's been a fantastic response from David Moyes' team, especially Moyes as well. They seem to have been on the chopping block, but a massive pickup of form. And I know that you've still got massive reservations about where West Ham will finish this season, especially with the fact that you've still got the Conference League to contend with.
Yeah, obviously we've still got the Conference League to contend with, and I think it's going to be kind of a game where that's going to tire us out, I think. And obviously, this is why I said I think we're still in that relegation battle, because with us getting to a semi-final now, I think completely we will be running out of gas very, very soon. But they might prove me wrong. I mean, obviously, we've got a bigger squad now, so we can change it up and do different positions and stuff. But yeah, I think it's going to be one heck of an end to the season.
Well, Wolves picking up a vital 3 points yesterday against Crystal Palace, as you can see there, level on points with them in 13th and 12th. As we previously mentioned, Liverpool currently sitting in 7th, 3 points behind Spurs, who's in 6th after that quite convincing defeat on Sunday against Newcastle. Aston Villa making massive pushes as well towards Europa League, Gary. But obviously this season is massively difficult to pick up them Europa League places, especially with the fact that we've still got teams such as your team, West Ham, still potentially could see silverware in the Europe competitions. Does that play a massive factor in these teams making sure that they can secure them places and not having to rely on another team's downfall?
Yeah, I think you need to secure them places and obviously not hope upon obviously West Ham and Man City being the only English clubs left in European competitions this season, and obviously West Ham probably looking more the favourable out of the two to win a competition this year. But yeah, I think they need to focus more on getting and solidifying them positions and kind of make sure it's not where you're relying upon that one team to fail.
Absolutely. Well, this game is ready. The team have both entered the fray. The bubble surrounding the London Stadium, being Gary honoured to have gone to that sensational stadium together. So this game is massive for both sides, massive detriment, potentially not where Liverpool want to be, potentially where West Ham have not been over the last 3 to 4 years, obviously going up and down, but seem to be in high spirits today. Never played badly or against Liverpool, so this should be a game with massive different of potentials.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a game of massive potentials, and to be honest, I think it's going to go down to who wants it more.
Yeah. And I think it has to be West Ham. Liverpool, I don't think are going to set off. as Liverpool seem to be kicking off this game here. So, guys, if you did enjoy this live stream and you're watching it previously, or if you guys have not checked out the channel before, please welcome to the Footy Fan Zone channel, where we speak to the true fans of the beautiful game. We'll be doing these live streams on many games across the Premier League, as well as our weekly live show, and clips will be uploaded from the weekly live shows if you guys just want to dedicate to a specific area. Tonight sees a double header with West Ham taking on Liverpool and Man City taking on Arsenal. Gary here is my co-host as well for these two massive games. He will be controlling his team West Ham's visit against Liverpool, and I will be talking about the title decider between Manchester City and Arsenal. Gary, what's going on in the West Ham Liverpool game, mate?
Liverpool are currently having a lot of possession in the middle of the pitch. Not really had any chances of getting out of it. And it just keeping that position there.
So obviously we'll be previewing the Manchester City Arsenal game that kicks off in around about 10 minutes. We'll be reacting to the lineups for the two teams. Obviously, Arsenal having a 5-point lead after dropping a possible 6 points in the last 3 games, drawing to Liverpool, Southampton, and West Ham over the last 3 weeks. Manchester City, however, has been on fine form.
I think it is a West Ham goal kick here at the London Stadium. Very nice stadium, but very randomly placed, isn't it, Kieran?
It doesn't. We, as previously stated, we did have the opportunity to go to the stadium. We were, we were viewed around by West Ham legend, and it was fantastic. But they were really speaking about the culture of the club and how they want to change this into a football stadium. Of course, gaining the rights to the stadium following the 2012 Olympics, and it definitely still feel very much like that stadium was built for that event instead of rebranding it as a football stadium. But a massive feel, a couple of empty seats as I can see here in the stadium, which does show the lack of potential support that West Ham might be getting, which is mainly down to their positioning in the league, Gaz.
Yeah, I'd obviously say it's quite often down to the position in the league, and I think there's parts where a lot more West Ham fans are, and it's Antonio, he's just underneath the header there from Bowen's cross. But yeah, like I said, I think it's West Ham fans are getting more and more confident the way we're playing, and all over teams. Bournemouth, for instance, we were all over them. And likes of Arsenal in the second half, I think we were all over them, and they really didn't get that chance, except that penalty, obviously Saka missing. Very lucky on West Ham's side. And it's a Liverpool throw-in on the right side of the pitch.
You've also got to have massive praise to this team, especially with the fact that there were 4 different goal scorers on that day. Does that show also as well the fact that you have got versatility of goal scorers, something that potentially Liverpool have been lacking over the last few years?
Yeah, I think we've got a bit of versatility. I think we've got more attacking players now in the team than we did have, and that we don't rely upon more of attacking. Paqueta obviously looking quite likely on form at the moment. So, and Zuma's just made a great block, and now has paint all down his arm, which is a bit awkward to see. But yeah, as it stands here, I think it says Liverpool have had 84% possession and West Ham only having 14.
So let's get into the Manchester City versus Arsenal lineups. Of course, we'll be rewatching that as part of this double header, which will be a massive step towards this league title. Let's get into it then, because starting off with the away side, Aaron Ramsdale in between the sticks, following that massive blunders to Southampton's first goal. So he's hoping to not repeat that this evening. Zinchenko is back in the squad following a illness. Gabriel and Rob Holding make up the centre-back partnership. Saliba still out and could potentially be out now for the rest of the season. A massive detrimental to Arsenal fan, as discussed off camera with fellow co-host and good friend Elliot. Ben White remains his position at right back. Despite having a temporal illness that could potentially have ruled him out of the game, Granit Xhaka does start alongside Thomas Partey and skipper Martin Odegaard, and then a big three-man up front. Gabriel Jesus leading the line alongside fellow Brazilian teammate Gabriel Martinelli and England wonderkid Bukayo Saka. Starting off with the home team then, which will see Ederson in between the sticks. Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz and Akanji makes up a back three, with Nathan Ake not starting due to an injury. John Stones and Rodri are the two holding players in Pep Guardiola's new system this season. Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan and Grealish make up the midfield four. Kevin De Bruyne not getting any minutes in the FA Cup semi-final on Saturday against Sheffield United. Erling Haaland leads the line. Man City fans hoping that they can get a goal. Gary, whilst I've been doing the lineups for the big title decider this evening, has there been any flashpoint moments between West Ham and Liverpool? And then afterwards, if you could share your thoughts on both teams' lineups after just mentioned them, that'd be great.
There's not really anything going on. I think Liverpool have had a few corners, and yeah, it's been a bit where Liverpool just holding possession, I think, and like obviously West Ham plays on the counter attack, and I think that's how we will play the whole game. I don't think we're going to be a possession based team in this game. And on the lineups, they're both looking very, very strong. I think it's going to be one hell of a game. Unfortunately, obviously, well, now not unfortunately, but fortunately and unfortunately, I'm watching West Ham. But I would have loved to watch Arsenal, Man City. There we go. Ben Rama on the edge of the area. Ben Rama trying to find a ball in here. He can't, but he gets it out to Rice. Rice manages it. It's put it across. It's put it on. Antonio couldn't reach it. And Soufal tries to put it back in the area and couldn't find a man. Still 0-0 here at the London Stadium. Soufal with a great tackle. Jared Bowen miscontrols the ball but manages to flick. And I think that's going to be a Liverpool goal kick.
Thank you very much, Gary. Of course, when both games are in proceedings, then we will be changing our opinions. Of course, Gary will be reacting to any big talking points within that game. But your main event, the central game here on the Footy Fan Zone live stream, the second that you guys can enjoy, we'll see the big game between Manchester City and Arsenal. But if you guys do decide that you want to see what we're all about here on the Footy Fan Zone, please feel free to like and subscribe, as well as checking out clips and live streams from the last two episodes of the Footy Fan Zone show, as well as game reactions from our trips to the Lincoln Stadium as well on the short. So much content already been put out on this fairly new channel that we call Footy Fan Zone. 5 minutes until that title decider between Manchester City and Arsenal, still 0-0 at the London Stadium, which is what Gary is watching at this current moment in time. Other games around the ground, there's also two other games that we will not be covering, unfortunately, because we just don't have the personnel. Nottingham Forest and Brighton are now are still 0-0, with Forest hoping to pick up some points as East Midlands rivals Leicester dropped points last night against Leeds. And Frank Lampard is still waiting for his first victory as Chelsea manager. They take on Brentford in that game. So not going to be easy, and another London rivalry. They seem to be coming in abundance over the last few weeks. So we'll be reacting to them games, not as frequently as obviously these two, but we'll be keeping you guys up to date with whatever happens there.
Well, Jota has gone down injured and has received treatment and has now been waved back on the pitch. Liverpool have possession on the right side of the middle of the pitch. It's a switch by Trent, and Sofal clears, and Cresswell manages to get it away. Benrahma with a beautiful touch into the path of Paqueta here. Paqueta finding Antonio. Antonio giving it Paqueta back. Paqueta, obviously a brilliant player. And it's great 1-2. And it's in! Lucas Paqueta has scored! An absolute worldie! Oh! Brilliant 1-2 by Antonio and Lucas Paqueta. And Lucas Paqueta fires it home. West Ham lead at home to Liverpool. And that's going to be big points dropped if it stays like that, isn't it, Kieran?
Absolutely massive. Just seeing the goal there, and it's a fantastic strike from the Brazilian, as you said, in fine form at the moment. Got a goal at the weekend against Bournemouth, and it's once again Liverpool down that right-hand side, which has been such an issue over this duration of this season. But West Ham, as you've been speaking to me, seems to be having the better chances within this game, and it seems to be starting off. They've got more to fight for here. It dramatically shows in the first 15 minutes, and it's once again a stunning strike with Liverpool. Players like that having the opportunity to score, but just the easiness in which he managed to, glide past both Trent and Fabinho, and it was great work with Antonio to get that goal. So Liverpool need some work to do if any chances of a single European competition is available. But West Ham know that these vital points this end of the season are big victories against the top six, traditional top six in the league, could potentially do it here. So at the London Stadium, as Gary reports, it's West Ham 1, Liverpool 0.
Would you say Alisson should have done better there, though, Kieran?
I think his sight was slightly impaired due to the Van Dijk and Matip sort of getting in the way. So, but it's one of them where a fantastic strike. Comments always should be on goalkeepers in that position, but nothing to take away from that strike from Paqueta.
And Liverpool looking very shaky. West Ham win the ball back in the final third. Benrahma running down here. Trent is keeping up with him, and it's going to be a Liverpool goal kick as Trent manages to keep up with Benrahma and run him out of play. Benrahma protesting that it apparently didn't cross the line, though.
So here we go then, just on the eve of West Ham taking the lead against Liverpool. We set to start here at the Etihad Stadium with Manchester City hosting Arsenal, a massive game for the title here. As previously discussed, Arsenal are 5 points ahead due to Man City's involvement in the FA Cup this last weekend against Sheffield United. Man City do have a game in hand. That game will be played against Brighton. And as you can see here, it's master versus apprentice. Pep Guardiola, Mikel Arteta, Spanish comrades, former co-workers, but consistently friends, something that has been mentioned by both gentlemen in pre-match build-ups. But it's massive here for their respective teams. Manchester City could be on course for a treble if they beat rivals Manchester City. Manchester United in the FA Cup final, and then seems to be seeing off the champions of Europe, Real Madrid, in the Champions League semi-finals. But it's all about the Premier League here today, and it's all about Arsenal. Arsenal, who were very pleased to see their Europa League campaign concluded. Many fans were in agreement with that, against Sporting to be focused on the league, but like as previously stated, 6 points dropped in the last 3 games, draws against teams such as Liverpool, West Ham, and Southampton. But here we go, red versus blue, Manchester City versus Arsenal, the battle for Premier League, and here we go.
Liverpool are looking very shaky, Kieran. I'm not trying to offend you in any way, shape, or form, because obviously you're a Liverpool fan, but they are looking very, very shaky.
A reliable source, guys. You always have been, and I'm sure you won't say that just to worry me a little bit more. My blood pressure, you don't want my blood pressure going high, but here we go. Arsenal enjoying some possession here, obviously hoping that they don't go down at Manchester City's expense early. Puts the ball down the line, which Saka could not contend with. And here is back to Edison.
Liverpool on the attack here. On the right-hand side of the final third. And it seems... Oh, no, it's back. Oh, and Rice clears it. Trent manages to win it back down. And it's always going backwards from the site. And Antonio trying to fight there. But it's gone through. And it's 1-1. Cody Gakpo bringing Liverpool level at the London Stadium. And Fabianski looks very, very pissed off of himself there that he did not get to that. It's about 25 yards out there as well.
Manchester City on the attack. Sorry to cut you off there, guys. We will get reaction from the London Stadium exactly how that goal is in. Ramsdale has missed it. Oh, that potentially go down. Oh, it's gone the other way. Man City protesting. That could have been massive. Harden leading the protests here. Thomas Partey is struggling following that challenge. It's a great ball in from Grealish, who is massively on form. Ramsdale does not handle it very well. And he comes out and Partey. Oh, he did catch Kevin De Bruyne there. This could be big. VAR has got to be checking it. Partey, who has not been in great form over the past few weeks, he seemed to have hooked the ankle of the Belgian international. It is massive here. For this team, I apologise to Gary, as we will get into that reaction of Liverpool's equaliser against West Ham in just a moment. It seems to be waved away from there. A massive talking point so early on. And it could be potentially been a Manchester City lead. But let's get into the reaction of Liverpool's equaliser against West Ham at the London Stadium. Gary, it's all yours.
Like I said, it was poor defending by West Ham, but that's what we've seen over this season. West Ham now on the attack. Ball in. And Alisson managed to claim it. But like I said, poor defending. West Ham should have closed Gakpo down about 25 yards out. He's struck it and it's hit the post and managed to dribble in. I will have to go in a minute to go and sort something out.
Some possession after a potential penalty shout from Manchester. But Arsenal are in here. Saka with a good ball in. And it was well defended from Kyle. in this game to Manchester City, looking for that opening goal. Potentially could have been offside on Granit Xhaka. It would have been potentially tight if it had gone any further.
And Curtis Jones has.
Guys, obviously, I know you're
away...
watching the other game, but I'm sure you can.
You may continue.
But I just want to briefly sort of talk about the about this game. Thank you. About this game here, because but it could, you see potentially both Arsenal and Manchester City being massively cagey in this game, because you know, obviously there's such massive effects if these teams do lose. Could you potentially see them, you know, with a big opportunity?
Yeah, there's obviously a big opportunity to push that driving seat in the favor of the club, and yeah, whoever wins it will obviously, like I said, be in that driving seat, and Arsenal won't be full of confidence due to the 3 draws they've had recently, but Man City will be after not losing. I think it's 16 games on the trot.
Yeah, it's crazy. And here they come here, Kevin De Bruyne driving forward through the Manchester City. He hits the ball and it's in! It is in! KDB, the most reliable midfielder in the Premier League, if not the world at the moment. And Manchester City have scored after 6 minutes to diminish Mikel Arteta's side. Arteta looking absolutely furious. Guardiola giving Edison some feedback. I'm not sure how quickly Edison ran over to his manager to gain feedback. Jesus trying to rile the players up, but that is absolutely massive from Manchester City, and it had to be Kevin De Bruyne to get the goal. It came out from a Manchester City goal kick. Haaland holding the ball up so well, and Kevin De Bruyne driving through that midfield and taking a low-driven shot outside of the box. Rob Holding had no chance against main goal scorer Erling Haaland, but it is not him who has got the opening goal. It is KDB, and Manchester City take a massive step forward, potentially winning the Premier League title. It is a massive goal, and it just had to be one man, didn't it? It had to be the Belgian superstar KDB. And it sees Manchester City lead the league leaders 1-0 at the Etihad Stadium. Gary, let's go over to what's going on at the London Stadium currently.
Nothing really. Bowen's just won the ball back for West Ham after a cross from Liverpool, and Bowen is now driving forward, trying to get past, and manages to win a throw-in on the left-hand side in the middle of the pitch.
Massive moment in the title race here. Manchester City leading against Arsenal.
Brighton are leading at Forest. And Chelsea,
that's massive then for the relegation battle. Chelsea, Brentford. Yeah, I was going to refer to that one, but that was on 38 minutes. Brunuetta getting that goal for the Seagulls. If anybody would like to react to the talking points of Manchester City, Arsenal, and Liverpool, West Ham, do feel free to drop in the comment section. Share your thoughts on these two games. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be putting your comment up on the screen if they are appropriate. So please do comment and share your thoughts.
It looks like West Ham are sitting more and more deeper. Like we'll accept a draw, and I don't think we will. And it's going to be a foul against. I think that's Mikel. Yeah, it is Mikel Antonio. It's going to be a foul from John Matip in near West Ham's box, which is a bit weird for Matip being that high.
What's Mikel Antonio doing there?
To be fair, I think it's when Liverpool are attacking, we're all trying to get behind the ball as quick as possible.
Tom's Party distributing it out to Bukayo Saka. Giving away straight to Ruben Diaz, Jack Grealish, who has been in 5 form as of late, showing the value of him. And he's got out of a really tight space here. And here comes City. Over to Haaland, now to De Bruyne. Got opportunities. Haaland's one of them. I don't think he knew De Bruyne made the pass. And Arsenal's screwing away, but it was offside. It seems to be on Erling Haaland as Gary does take a step out here. He will be back shortly. And as you can see, in terms of the title, this is massively detrimental to Arsenal, who could be without a victory in the last 4 Premier League matches. And as league leaders, you can't afford to do that, especially with the quality of Manchester City breathing down your neck. As referee Michael Oliver hesitant to give the foul there against Bernardo Silva on Granit Xhaka. And Guardiola not too pleased with that decision. The passion, the dedication shown by the Manchester City manager early on. And it means so much to him to win the league title once again. But I know how much it means for him to win the Champions League. Who, of course, sees him take on current European champions Real Madrid in the semi-final, and then a Milan derby between Inter and AC Milan in the other semi-final. Here comes Party here, driving through midfield. Ben White, now back to Saka. Gabriel here. Into Martinelli, who doesn't seem to be having the freedom much as he usually does, the Brazilian. Gary will rejoin us here. Obviously, any talking points regarding to it would be a talking point if he decided to unmute himself. That'd be great.
I'm back.
As we can see there, we'll get into any potential news from the London Stadium. I will call upon you if anything does happen, or shout out
if you see a reaction, then you'll know something's happened. West Ham here on a high press, and it does seem to pay off sometimes. We are 28 minutes into West Ham versus Liverpool. Still 1-1 here at the London Stadium. Has there been any news at the Etihad, Kieran?
Well, if we have to goal, it's all massively not a lot of teams are allowed to do that at the Etihad, but Arsenal do not seem to find in that cutting edge and the ability to be tearing teams apart as they have done in first half performances against our teams, West Ham and Liverpool. Manchester City taking a bit more of a relaxed approach within this game, but still finding that goal through Kevin De Bruyne. Man City are now remains 1-0 up as we turn into the 15th minute of the game.
Liverpool starting to find their groove at the London Stadium as well. Sofal takes the throw and it's headed away. Paqueta with a great control into Souček's path. Now Cresswell has it out on the left-hand side, driving forward. Finds Declan Rice. Rice with a switch to Sofal. Great touch by Sofal. And Sofal winning the ball, but just passes, tries to find Bowen, but passes it into the path of Andy Robertson.
What a throw that was there by John Stones to Kevin De Bruyne. And here comes Akanji, who's been allowed to drive into the box. And there was a foul from Akanji. Haaland protesting a decision of his own. Akanji seems to be back top, just shielding the ball out for a goal kick, and it does land to a Arsenal free kick here. And you see the quality of Manchester City, guys, and obviously it's massively important to win games obviously like this title decides. Is it games like this that do make you champions, especially against a team that are your title contenders like Arsenal?
Yeah, it is, and obviously they are Arsenal are the title leaders, and just I bet Arsenal are hoping for something to happen during the game, but obviously they're kind of like West Ham are at the moment as well. But it is big if you win them games. Obviously, you close down that point gap and close down that gap as well. This West Ham Liverpool game's got a bit boring now. Liverpool throw in, getting closer and closer, and they're passing it back again. Liverpool not trusting any runs into the box at the moment. Playing more, trying to overload West Ham a little bit in the middle of the park.
Which is surprising because, Liverpool do seem to have a bit of a weaker midfield in massively, obviously, areas of the pitch, so it is surprising, but it's Trent moving in. I'm guessing that Trent has, that role of me moving into the midfield. Guys, as we've seen, the teams I'm covering here, Man City and Arsenal, do in this season.
Cresswell's gone down with a bit of a knock. As he's gone to clear the ball, Curtis Jones has ran straight into the upper leg. Van Cresswell is up and he's walking, so he looks okay.
Injury
and
scares
Notts Forest have drawn level at the City Ground, which is very, very shocking to see, because obviously that will put the relegation battle right back in there for the East Midlands rivalry.
Most definitely, and they've been struggling to get any sort of points on the board. Brighton are not an easy team against a lot of quality players there, so it's a massive point for Forest if they could potentially be getting this game and could kickstart their season following a really, really poor form as of late. So as Gary previously stated, it is Brighton 1, Nottingham Forest 1.
And Liverpool have won a corner kick here after a Zuma clearance that came in the box. I've always questioned why Trent is 66. Like, he's never changed his number.
I think it's down to something when he was a kid.
A bit like
Look
Rice
at
as
that, the
well. We've
quality.
never seen Rice change his number neither.
Rob Holding hacking down Kevin De Bruyne there. He was massively beaten, and I'm surprised that Rob Holding's not picked up a yellow card for that. De Bruyne, the ball through the legs. It's great to see, and Rob Holding decided to put his forearm in De Bruyne's stomach. So, so De Bruyne protesting alongside Jack Grealish. But Manchester City are in control of this one. Arsenal have not had a big chance as of yet. It's 20 minutes into this game here at the Etihad after starting 15 minutes later than our other commentated game.
I'll tell you what, these games are looking really, really good. You got two games at level currently with West Ham and Liverpool, Brighton, Forest. I think Chelsea are drawing as well against Brentford, and then you've got obviously Man City who are beating Arsenal.
Weekend games, weekday games do not disappoint, and we're all over them here. The Footy Fans are the first we've covered 2 of the games, and it is fantastic to do once again.
As well, we do have the live stream tomorrow. We will be figuring out a time probably after this.
Bernardo Silva driving into the box, and Ramsdale with an easy distribution, but Bernardo Silva having to contend with former teammate Zinchenko, and he got his shot off really well, but it was an easy one for Ramsdale in the end. But as you can see, a massive strength of Manchester City driving into that Arsenal box. But Arsenal have got to be careful here because Manchester City could double their lead particularly very quickly. Ramsdale allowing to distribute the ball without any other hesitation. Xhaka potentially fouled in the middle and just win the free kick. Following a collision with Manchester City skipper Ikai Ban.
West Ham again adopting a high press and Jared Bowen intercepting, which will give Liverpool a corner. And you have Real Madrid versus Man City on Tuesday, AC Milan versus Inter Milan on the Wednesday of next week.
Haaland going down quite theatrically there. Gabriel just having a conversation with the referee, and it seems to be a bit of pushing and shoving between the Brazilian and the Norwegian there. So the referee will be keeping an eye on that fierce battle here. But it's Haaland's job to defend and Gabriel's job to attack here. Ball coming in, and it was a header that was gone wide from Gabriel. No, not troubling at all his Brazilian teammate in goal for Manchester City. As we have a look at this De Bruyne goal, it's a fantastic finish from Kevin De Bruyne once again, and it just shows the quality of this Manchester City team and the ability in which you've got it in massively key areas, and it's once again showing that Arsenal, despite having a fantastic clearance, dropping them points over the last few weeks has been massively potentially detrimental. And Man City leading here. If Man City win here today, then it will be a 2-point difference between Manchester City having a game in hand against Brighton. If they win that, then they will go above the team, not only 1 point ahead, but also on goal difference.
Brentford 1-0 up against Chelsea.
Well, people for returning appointment, very surprising, and he is without a win following his return to Stamford Bridge. Brentford picking up a 1-0 lead in another London derby. Here comes Martinelli here on the wing. Been very quiet in this first half. Passes to Zinchenko, who enjoyed massive success at Manchester City. Great challenge from Walker, and Martinelli with a fierce challenge against Rodri. Winger taking the ball there, so it will result in a Manchester City free kick.
West Ham looking very cool under pressure at the moment. West Ham had and a little flick by Paqueta, releases Bowen into the space. Great switch to Benrahma here. Benrahma, can he shoot? He's tried. Oh! He's tried putting it across to Antonio, and Antonio's missed it by inches. And if he had got a touch on it, it would
Gary,
have been a
Gary, I'm
goal.
so sorry to cut you off. Kevin De Bruyne, he's in it. It was going down again. Oh, what a massive potential block that was there by Gabriel, stopping the Belgium going the second of the game. Massive opportunity. Apologies, it was Ben White who made the vital challenge, not Gabriel. I do apologise, but he was clearly onside. The gap between Arsenal defenders were absolutely diabolical. Haaland putting De Bruyne through again, and it was a vital block from the England centre-back turned right-back, who turned it away from Kevin De Bruyne from getting his second and Man City's second of the game. Another massive chance for Manchester City to further show their dominance here against the league leaders. Still 1-0, and we'll go back to Gary, who seemed to have a little bit more news coming from the London Stadium. Gaz, what have you got for us?
Yeah, West Ham obviously got a corner after that little nick from Van Dijk to put Antonio off, and then almost could have had a chance of scoring. It comes off the head of Rice, I think it was, nicks the head of Henderson, and then hits the head of Antonio, who couldn't turn it in to the right path of the net. But it is still 1-1 here at the London Stadium.
Thank you, guys. Bernardo Silva releases De Bruyne with a great cross in, cleared away only as far as Saka, who clears it even further. And now Arsenal seem to be progressing for an attack. It is Saka on Arsenal's right-hand side, coming up against Ruben Diaz. Grealish coming back, and that's a fantastic challenge from Jack Grealish against fellow English teammate Bukayo Saka, showing his worth over the last few weeks in a Manchester City shirt. But Arsenal seem to progress in the pitch, and it's been given away from Grealish. And here comes Haaland, who seems to be playing in a bit more of a midfield role. Arsenal massively stationary. De Bruyne has released Haaland. This could be two. You know how quality Haaland is. He's gone around. Haaland! Oh, what a save from Aaron Ramsdale. What a fantastic save from the England goalkeeper to deny Haaland. And that was massive. The ball is still not out of play with Gundogan, but Haaland must be kicking himself there that he didn't get a goal in this game. But Manchester City have been dominant over the last couple of minutes or so. De Bruyne missing, and as well as Haaland. But Arsenal need to book their ideas up in the second half, or even quickly in this first half, to even mount a challenge against Man City, because I can smell a second goal coming here.
Well, I was going to say, you can smell a second goal coming. I don't think there's going to be one this in the first half, but it has been a brilliant game where West Ham are pressing like animals and Liverpool are playing so calmly under the pressure. But it is still 1-1 here, 44 minutes in at the London Stadium.
Thank you very much, guys. Much appreciated for your thoughts. We'll keep coming back to you as the incidents happen. As well, in other games, Brentford are leading against Chelsea following a Cesar Azpilicueta own goal. It was also an own goal that saw Forest level up things against Brighton. Pascal Gross with the own goal that gave Nottingham Forest a equaliser and a massive push to potential survival, and also knocking down Leicester in even further danger. That is the other games. We've got more games to contend with as well. And obviously, last night saw Wolves pick up a vital 2-0 win against Crystal Palace, and Leicester was stalemate against fellow relegation rivals Leeds United. As Man City taking a massive relaxed approach against Arsenal does not seem to be the Arsenal dominance that we've seen over the last few weeks, particularly in the first half.
It is
That's
2
obviously
added minutes at the London Stadium as well.
2 added minutes, 15 minutes still left to play following the 15-minute late kickoff from this big title decider.
So I guess when West Ham and Liverpool half time, I'll leave, and then I should be roughly back kicking off when your half time comes up.
It's almost like they planned it, especially for a watch along here. Double watch along here from the Footy Fan Zone. Man City, Arsenal, West Ham, Liverpool. What's there not to love about the Premier League in midweek games? And you could experience it all here on the Footy Fan Zone on YouTube. Guys, a quick question about obviously this game, Man City, Arsenal. I know that you are watching it, so you can't provide analysis regarding this game. But I'm going to hold away my question as people have just seen your reaction. What is happening in London Stadium? I'm guessing is more positive for West Ham than it is for Liverpool.
Yeah, it was positive for West Ham. Antonio driving down the left-hand side and then puts it into the path of Benrahma. Benrahma manages to find Paqueta, and Paqueta tries to strike it, and it takes a deflection.
Haaland with a shot, and Ramsdale with a great save. I seem to be cutting Gary off even more than usual. Gary, I'm sure, will be pleased when my game is at half time so I can stop interrupting him. But massive save there from Ramsdale once again. And the match stats come up here. 4 out of 5 shots from Manchester City are on target to Arsenal's single off-target shot. Gary, let's go back to you, mate. But with a question this time regarding this game, because Man City, as previously stated, has took a relaxed approach in this game. Is that wise from Pep Guardiola's team, especially with the fact that we've got a Champions League semi-final upcoming for the side against Real Madrid?
Yeah, I think they took more relaxed approach. I think they're trying to put most of the pressure onto Arsenal because Arsenal know they need to win. Man City, just like if we win, we win. We lose. Simple as that. But yeah, I think that's what they're trying to do. Transfer all the pressure on to Arsenal and just hoping that Arsenal crumble, which it sounds like they have at the moment. And it is half time at the London Stadium. It is 1-1 as it stands.
Thank you very much, guys, for your top analysis of the game between West Ham versus Liverpool. Gary is going to take a very well-deserved break as he will be back for the second half as well. So thank you very much to Gary as we are been told that West Ham Liverpool is going to be 1-1 at half time. Here come Manchester City with Ruben Diaz, who passes it back here to Ederson, the Man City goalie, who has not had much to do in this first half. And good defending from Bukayo Saka, but it does lead to a regaining of possession for Manchester City. To there, look concerned. Very different look to the current Arsenal fans, who knows that a defeat here amounts even more pressure on their side to keep up with that lead. A lead they've had its opening day of the season. If Arsenal do lose the Premier League title to Manchester City, it would be a team. That's brilliant from Martinelli, who's passed into skipper Odegaard. One more onto Saka. Ben White overlapping, but decides to go with Odegaard. Partey with the shot, and it's gone wide here. Enough to trouble Ederson into making a dive, but it's a chance which Arsenal has not had many of in this game. But Thomas Partey dragging that shot wide. So it's an understandable frustration from Thomas Partey there following that shot, as he knows that could have been a equaliser for Arsenal. Going back to my previous stat, Arsenal, if losing the Premier League title, will be the team who has spent the longest at the top of the table without taking control of that title. It will be Manchester City's 6th Premier League title in the last 7 years. The only team to have took that from being a full house would have been Liverpool in the season of COVID. Haaland driving forwards the middle here, and it's gone wide. You would have bet your house and even your car as well on the chance that the Norwegian was going to put the ball in the back of the net. He's had so many chances in this game, but it was Jack Grealish mounting the attack, and it's once again Man City's attack that seems to have a lot more space to drive in forward, and Haaland just dragging that shot wide. It would most definitely could have been a second goal for Pep Guardiola's team, and it was massively unlucky there. Stones headers it forward. Thomas Partey now defending in the middle. Martinelli tries to go one more to Zinchenko, but cut out by Walker, who puts it down the line brilliantly to Bernardo Silva. Still pressured from the Arsenal midfield. John Stones now clearing the ball out for a Arsenal throw-in on this left-hand side. Arsenal with another throw-in here with Zinchenko looking for options, but passes it to Gundogan into Haaland, who has been adapting a midfield role in this first half massively. Got the assist for De Bruyne's goal, and he seemed to have fouled Thomas Partey there. Michael Oliver referring to the fact that that was a head injury on the Arsenal midfielder, so treatment is necessary and required. Despite Partey getting up and looking okay at least, but this will be an Arsenal free kick once the game resumes. Man City still protested as to why that was a foul. Gabriel Jesus, another former Manchester City player, alongside Zinchenko, who both of them players going to Mikel Arteta's team in the summer transfer window, has made massive impact since joining the club and mounting that title charge. And Michael Oliver changing his mind there, seems to regain back control of the ball. Manchester City, surprised by that, I do believe. Central ball down the line for Grealish, cut out by Ben White. And that's fantastic play. And here comes the skipper, Ilkay Gundogan, who plays it once more into Grealish. Vital challenge there by Rob Holding, who not only wins the ball, but also the Arsenal goal kick. Here is a massive, vital challenge from Rob Holding, who won the ball. Who obviously, Rob Holding coming into the squad following the injury of French international William Saliba. Header forward from Gundogan. Contested by Haaland, and a safe option once again by Rob Holding. Here's Grealish, who will take the throw in for Man City in no rush. Not unsurprisingly. Gundogan has done fantastic here. He's put it back to Haaland. Save from Ramsdale. A double save and clearing through the legs. And Haaland must be absolutely kicking himself. The fact that he's not got a goal. City second in this game. Man City dominating Arsenal at the moment as Akanji kicks the ball out and Arsenal can regain possession. But Ramsdale, who gifted Southampton's first goal at the weekend, redeems him with a great save and then a clearance on the floor. It was an easy potential finish. It was actually Ramsdale went under the legs of the Arsenal goalkeeper following Haaland's shot, but Haaland cannot seem to find the back of the net yet for Manchester City. Akanji with good hold-up play, but has won the foul against Bukayo Saka. And guys, if you do want to put in a live comment, we will be reacting to them throughout the duration of this live stream. So if you guys want to share your thoughts on this game or any popular football talking point, then please do drop in a comment. We'll be reacting to it live here on stream if appropriate, which I'm sure it will be. Here's Ben White. Back to Rob Holding, who trying to release Saka. Good clearance away from Akanji. Dispossessed here. And here comes Martin Odegaard over to Zinchenko, who puts the ball in, cleared away from Ruben Diaz, hurting himself and Akanji in the process. Saka in between that challenge of Akanji and Ruben Diaz. Of course, Akanji coming into the squad following the injury of Nathan Ake, who's been in fine form this season. And despite contention against Akanji and Diaz, it'll be Saka who is up and okay and taking the corner here for Arsenal. The ball coming in here from Saka, punted away by Ederson. Back out to Saka, who can put the ball in here. And Kyle Walker not taking a touch of the ball. So it goes out for a Manchester City goal kick as it is the 43rd minute of this game. So we will see what the score will be going into the second half. And then as the halftime break will occur in this game, you will be diverted back to the delightful tones of Gary Best, who will be commentating over the West Ham versus Liverpool game, which is currently 1-1 at half time. Michael Oliver signalling a foul for Manchester City. John Stone against De Bruyne. Haaland winning the header. And then is fouled by Thomas Partey, Michael Oliver with a stern look. So nothing is contended against. And Haaland drawing in the foul against Partey, who, in my opinion, should potentially have gotten a yellow card for that challenge on the Norwegian striker. Yet to find a goal in this game. He did get an assist, though, again, for Kevin De Bruyne's outside of the box goal. That is the difference maker here between first and second. De Bruyne, the man of mental Bernardus. Who be taking this one? Organising the wall. And it's De Bruyne to take. Ball in the box. And it's a great header. And it is in! Oh, but it's the flag that's gone up on John Stones, who was towering above everybody in the box. Is a fantastic ball in from Kevin De Bruyne. And it's the arm of John Stones, who you can't be offside if your arm is. So this will be checked from VAR by VAR. But the flag instantly going up against the English centre-back, who has adapted a new position of holding. It's, by the way, we're about a minute 15. That I think, judging by this replay here, that this is actually onside. It's Ben White who is contending with a Kanji at the back. Seems to be the man to play them on. The lines will be drawn, which will determine the overall decision. And I do think that this is going to be a goal here. Man City fans in anticipation, knowing that 2-0 scoreline into half time is massively vital. The lines have been drawn, and that is onside. And Manchester City, they don't know it yet, but definitely we do as fans, have doubled their lead against Arsenal. Just waiting confirmation, so I don't sound silly on stream. Stones gives the indication that he knows, and Manchester City double their lead 45 seconds before the first half concludes. Arsenal fans, a face of sheer panic. Manchester City fans with faces of sheer delight. And it is John Stones whose position change has been massively highlighted by Pep Guardiola's new system. The same quality performances here at the Etihad, and John Stones massively contributing to that. Man City in the driving seat, Arsenal not looking at all the team that they have been, and it seems like that draw against Liverpool and West Ham could have been detrimental to their season. Man City just putting on more fuel on the burning fire. The game Manchester City 2, Arsenal 0, and there seems to be an altercation here. Gary returns, but we won't be going to him yet, as there are a bit of pushing and shoving between this massively hyped game between the two. And I thought the goal would be the last act of the first half. I sat here not convinced. It was a incident from Ruben Diaz on Ben White. Ruben Diaz shielding the ball, and Diaz did kick out. It was Saka who led the protests, and it was Ruben Diaz who seems to be trapping the ball in between his legs, and he did kick out there. He stood on the hamstrings of Ben White, and it was right for Arsenal to argue with this. And Ruben Diaz protesting his innocence, but he is going to get a booking against the Brazilian Sorry, the Portuguese. Going to pick himself up his third booking of the season. Gundogan. And we've now played an extra 2 minutes of the generous 2 given by Michael Oliver here. And I do believe that the goal kick here from Edison will conclude this first half. No, and there it is. Manchester City with a 2-goal lead over league leaders Arsenal. It was Kevin De Bruyne who kick-started proceedings here at the Etihad after a great through ball from Erling Haaland. And then just before half-time, it was a looping John Stones header that beat Aaron Ramsdale. Another assist from KDB in a Manchester City shirt. A bit of handbags late in the first half, which saw Ruben Dias pick up his 3rd yellow card of the season following a kick out at Ben White. But going into this massive title decider, it is Man City in the driving seat as they lead at the Etihad by 2-0 against Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. I now refer you back to the delightful tones of Gary Best, who will be covering the West Ham versus Liverpool game solo. So, Gary, the floor is yours, my friend, and I will see you guys for the second half of Manchester City versus Arsenal.
As Kieran enjoys his well-earned break for sitting and watching that, during my break, I'm going to sit here and watch the West Ham versus Liverpool second half. And it has looked lively already. There's been a few chances at both ends, and West Ham are on the front foot as going forward at the moment. Antonio has possession. Benrahma running down the left-hand side with Cresswell on the overlap. He's dribbled through. He's gone through. Benrahma looking for Rice. Rice, we know he's got a left foot in him. Rice again finding that pass. Benrahma gets it from Cresswell. And it's going to be a corner after the tackle from Jordan Henderson. And Benrahma using them skills delightful. Which shouldn't have been a corner, actually, to be honest. It did actually touch Benrahma last, but I will accept it because it's my club. But Cresswell, it's Cresswell on the corner here. Again in the box, Antonio in the box, Rice in the box, Bowen on the edge of the area. Cresswell pinging it in. Oh, and couldn't find a West Ham head, unfortunately. And there's a little tiny flick from Matip at the front post, which manages to take it off West Ham's attack. Moyes looking miserable. I'm only joking, Moyes. We love you. But yeah, he's trying to get West Ham back to firing form. And they have beaten Liverpool here last season with Kurt Zuma jumping up at the back post. An ex-Everton man scoring the decider, which made it 3-1 at that point. And then Minamino scoring a second goal as a consolation goal. Liverpool having possession in the mid. Going into the middle of the park. Liverpool having a lot of possession here, but as we know, West Ham are a counter-attacking team with the pace of the likes of Paqueta, Antonio, Benrahma, who's got the skills. Cresswell trying to nick the ball off Salah, which he manages to do. Finding the feet of Paqueta. Paqueta finding Benrahma. Benrahma on the attack. Managing to dribble through 2 players at once. He's crossed in and it's straight into the path of Alisson's hands. But it was a great little dribble there by Benrahma. He did Matip and Fabinho at the same time. He is a quality little player, Ben Rama. Works hard and sometimes pays off. Great header to clear it away by Zuma. Right. Rice now has possession. And it's pinged over. Bowen is there. Bowen. Now, is he pulled down? That is the question. He looks like he was pulled down. Bowen is furious with the decision. But there's going to be no VAR looking at that, unfortunately, which is very, very unfortunate for West Ham. I'm trying to be as neutral as I can here because obviously Kieran is being neutral at Man City, Arsenal. So I'm trying to be as neutral as I can and not to upset Kieran because he's a Liverpool fan. So, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that obviously we do have to play each other. We can confirm that, well, West Ham have confirmed that Arthur Masuaku has left for Besiktas in the Turkish league. Sorry, not the Belgian league. After an amazing loan spell, and I think he played all the games that he could have played in that loan spell. The one thing I won't put a win in possession. Antonio finding the path of Ben Rama. Ben Rama, obviously, we know can have a good shot as well. Antonio, Declan Rice out wide to Sofal. Sofal puts it across, and it's a bit of a collision, but Souček has gone down, and I don't know if he's got back up yet. Salah's on the ball here. Zuma, Jota, a great tackle by again. That is, oh no, it's Declan Rice. Great tackle. Putting it back across and making sure that no Liverpool man. And Bowen is on. Bowen is onside here. Ben Rama with him, and he's short. It's in. Jared Bowen, 2-1, and he's not offside neither. It is Jared Bowen who has turned up against the Big Six again, doing it against Arsenal, doing it against Liverpool, did it against Chelsea, and Mo Salah looks devastated. But brilliant goal. Let's see if he is offside or not. That is the question. I think Trent is playing him onside. We will find out. It is 2-1 as it stands. We'll find out by a VAR decision. We will find out. There's a possible offside check. And yep, it's going to be called offside. Chalked off. It is back to 1-1. But that is very, very seriously showing how West Ham can change. Beautiful finish though, but it is 1-1. Now surely Liverpool needs to grab something. Gakpo. Paqueta. Rice making a great... Souček making a great challenge. It's just used to seeing Rice in orange boots, to be honest. But yep, and Liverpool now calming stuff down. And Van Dijk has the ball just ahead of the centre circle. Liverpool trying to keep that momentum going as we get into the 56th minute. So Kieran will be joining us back soon for the Man City Arsenal second half. Obviously, I will stay with him for the Arsenal second half after the West Ham Liverpool game. Nottingham Forest are 2-1 up against Brighton. And it's a penalty as well. Actually, it might not be. I think he missed the penalty. But Alisson doesn't look very comfortable at his feet. And West Ham pressing high, which is the West Ham way to do things. And Gakpo flicks onto Salah. Again, going back. And again has made that block, which was desperately needed. And Trent tries to volley it from outside the area, and it goes over the bar. And again, with a great recovery, it looks like we are going to have Thiago and Luis Diaz enter the fray. And Thiago is coming off, I think, for Jordan Henderson. Yep, Jordan Henderson coming off. And Van Dijk will take the captain's armband for Liverpool. And Jota is coming off for Luis Diaz. And Thiago coming across into that midfield, which probably is needed for Liverpool. And Jota again. So Luis Diaz will go out on the left-hand side. Rice trying to clear, but doesn't get the whole of his foot under the ball. Sorry. West Ham letting the defense have the ball, and Trent going into more of a midfield role. Liverpool playing good here. We're going into the 60th minute. So Kieran should be joining us not very far away. I bet he is watching the time as eagerly as out to get back to Arsenal, Man City. And that's poor ball watching by West Ham there. Pass straight through the middle into Liverpool's defence. And I guess that's Luis Diaz or Curtis Jones was just holding off. And no foul given. He's waved play on. Bowen making a run down, trying to get the ball to Antonio. Unfortunately, couldn't find Antonio to his feet. Gakpo on the ball here. Luis Diaz having the ball. Oh, Liverpool going to actually get a chance here. And here it comes again. And it's again going back to the back line. Thiago here. And Rice picking up the ball, and now will drive. Benrahma managing to get past Matip. Cresswell. Rice. Paqueta. Oh, Benrahma tries a dummy, thinking Antonio hadn't made the run, but he had. And now Curtis Jones picking up the ball in midfield. Robertson on the left-hand side. Great little ball. Curtis Jones making the run. Souček all over him. Luis Diaz as well. Your two Czechs trying to defend Luis Diaz there. It's put back across, and again with a great clearance. We are 61 minutes in at the London Stadium. Paqueta tackled, and ref says he got the ball. And Trent. Thiago. No, he can put in a good pass as well. West Ham again pressing quite high. And it looks like we're going to a 4-2-3-1. As we said, it looked like it would change in game as more defensively. Great clearance by Cresswell, but it only finds ahead of a Liverpool defender, Matip. Trent going back to right back. It's a great little switch. Luis Diaz tries a shot and completely misses. I think we will be having Kieran back soon. As we said, Leicester drew to Leeds last night. Aston Villa beating Fulham 1-0 and Wolves beating Crystal Palace 2-0. Man City are currently on half-time beating our leaders Arsenal 2-0. West Ham are drawing against Liverpool at the London Stadium. Chelsea are losing to Brentford, and Notts Forest are beating Brighton. Antonio winning the ball, driving forward, unfortunately can't find a pass to get to. Half an hour left at the game. Rice losing possession, which you don't see very often. And it's coming across here. Thiago, Fabinho, Trent trying to whip it into the top left-hand corner and puts it over the bar. And Kieran has joined us. And I don't know if he knows, but West Ham have had a goal ruled out for offside.
No, I was not aware. I took, as you previously said, to the necessary break from the game, the Manchester City Arsenal game, as it's just kicked off here. De Bruyne having another opportunity. Was it the correct decision, guys? Even though your personal preference that it probably wasn't.
Yeah, it was a correct decision. VAR obviously got involved, and yeah, it was given the correct decision.
Well, here we go then. Manchester City versus Arsenal in the second half. Ruben Diaz trying to pass it on to Grealish, but it is gone out here. And no changes for the Manchester City side. And no changes either for the league leaders.
Well, I also have some news for you.
Oh, news is great. What are you giving
Notts
me?
Forest are beating Brighton.
It's well, it was. You know, you're going to see the fight from Forest in the business end of this season, and it's massively detrimental potentially for the East Midland rival Leicester's chances of staying in the league, for obviously association with myself and Gary to Leicester City. Some being fans, some being workers of the club. As Saka having forward here, inside to Xhaka, further on to Zinchenko, back to Xhaka with the shot, and well handled from Ederson. But listen, Arsenal had a poor first half, but that's a great ball from De Bruyne, just overhit. So Gundogan was not aware of getting it. But listen, Arsenal showed massive fight last Friday against Southampton, getting, a point. If Arsenal can walk away here with a point following that, that first half performances, and Gary's face telling a story, and the story will now be heard for all to hear. Gary, if you can, mate, instead of doing it in a face, that would be most fortunate for this stream. What's going on at London Stadium?
Liverpool 2, West Ham United 1. Joel Matip off a corner, as free as out. Really shouldn't have been that free in any situation. Bullet header, and yeah, I've got nothing else to say.
Well, Manchester City having a corner of their own, Stones and Diaz, and as well as Akanji and Rodri from their defensive department coming up for this corner. So Man City hoping to get a goal such as Liverpool have just done. Headed away, back in from Grealish. Fighting in the box, but it is cleared away. And can Arsenal mount an attack here? Overhit, though, by Saka to Martinelli. So cleaned up well by Kyle Walker. Regaining control of the ball is Manchester City. And as you've just heard, Nottingham Forest leading against Brighton 2-1. The same result currently for Liverpool against West Ham. Gary covering that game for us in this live stream. Chelsea still behind against Brentford by 1-0. And here, the big title decider at the Etihad, the game that I'm covering on this live stream, Manchester City 2, Arsenal 0, shortening the gap from 5 to 2 points. Guys, do stick around with us. We'll get of the players as well as and the man.
West Ham making.
Please do like and subscribe.
West Ham are making 2 changes. Danny Ings for Mikel Antonio and Maxwell Cornet. I will be able to fill you in a minute for Ben Rama. No, I'd say Ben Rama has been the best player on the pitch. Bowen obviously had his goal chalked off. Paquette has been up there as well, but I can't see why they took Bowen off. Ben Rama off, sorry.
Like for like positions for both of West Ham substitutions. Danny Ings, former Liverpool striker, entering the fray for Mikel Antonio in that one. A surprise substitution on the left-hand side with Maxwell Cornet on for Ben Rama. And as previously said, if you guys would like to hear our full thoughts on the big football topics, make sure to check out the weekly live stream that we'll be doing on this channel. That will be tomorrow alongside fellow deficit, but City, who will shorten the gap to just 2 points with a game in the hand first, then, but also their goal difference as well. A clean sheet is vital for Pep Guardiola's team, and it looks like it with Arsenal not really creating many chances in. Here comes Granit Xhaka now down the line to Zinchenko, who takes on Walker with strong physicality. Guys, a quick question on Kyle Walker. Guardiola came out a couple of weeks ago knocking Kyle Walker's ability to play that centre-back holding position that's currently being operated by John Stones at this current moment in time for the Man City squad. But massive reports are saying that Kyle Walker could be seen leaving Manchester City as well. What are your thoughts on that one?
Kyle Walker, I think it needs a revamp. I think he needs somewhere else. I think
I'm always seeming to cut you off at the moment. Haaland is in. Ramsdale again with a fantastic save. Ramsdale has been denying Haaland all through the first half. It's not over yet. Grealish with the ball in, and Bernardo Silva clearing, having a shot which is denied by Ramsdale. This Arsenal squad because he could about now Haaland could even add a hat trick. So absolutely massive. City come again though, but it's easily cleared by Rob Holding, and there could be more news coming from the London Stadium and Garage Reaction telling a true picture. What picture will it be, and will it be more joy than worry? Gaz, we'll go to you just for a minute because De Bruyne is coming in here, and it is in. Kevin De Bruyne makes it 3 for Manchester City with a fantastic finish, going under the body of Aaron Ramsdale. It's been a Kevin De Bruyne masterclass. It's been an Erling Haaland assist masterclass rather than goals. And Manchester City further showing their dominance within this game. Arsenal, who have dropped points over the last few weeks, will be dropping more here. And Noel Gallagher cheering on Manchester City with massive faces. The wonder wall of Manchester City has been so strong tonight, unlike Arsenal's, and it seems like there will be some morning glory for Manchester City tomorrow as they drop the lead to 2 points. Manchester City 3, Arsenal 0, and judging by Gary's very straight and non-moving attitude, it looks like we've got some big news from the London Stadium. We'll pass over finally to the main man, Gary.
Yeah, Jared Bowen picking the ball up on the right-hand side and passing it straight through to Danny Ings, who is wide open. And Alisson comes out and collects the ball off Danny Ings. And then, the attack breaks down.
Understand, ladies and gentlemen, why I did cut him off, because there was bigger news coming from Etihad instead of the London Stadium. My apologies once again to Gary for keep cutting him off here. He will get his opportunity spotlight if anything happens at the London Stadium. Aaron Ramsdale receiving treatment, and it's going from bad to worse for Arsenal if Ramsdale could potentially be in some trouble here, as the Manchester City fans in sheer delight at the moment in time, because they know that they are in the driving seat. Play will resume now as it goes all the way back to Aaron Ramsdale. But Manchester City here in total dominance against Arsenal, and the ball has now regained back into control of Manchester City. Oh, and that was unlucky now. Good clearance away. Here comes Gabriel Jesus, who's been very quiet against his old team and has been taken down. Here has remained down against John Stones, the goal scorer of the second one. Gary seems to have more news coming from the London Stadium. Gary, what is the conclusion of that game, please?
There is no news. But Darwin Núñez looks like he's getting ready to come onto the pitch.
That's news in itself. Thank you very much, guys. If you'd like to take control and tell us what's happening as Arsenal shaping up here for a free kick. I will cut you off, as I have been doing massively throughout the duration of this game, please.
West Ham win a throw-in on the left-hand side of the West Ham final third. Near West Ham's penalty area, should I say. And Darwin Núñez is getting his tactics told to him so he can come on and play the way that Liverpool want him to. And it's great play here. And Liverpool on the attack again. It's put across, and Zuma with a great clearance. Zuma keeping West Ham in this, and I think I can hear from news downstairs that Chelsea are 2-0 down, I'm pretty sure. We'll be able to fill you in once we know. But Cody Gakpo coming off for Darwin Núñez, the first goal scorer for Liverpool. Once we are 77 minutes here at the London Stadium, and like I said, once I find out more about the Chelsea score, I will let you guys know.
Oh, and once again, a bit of an altercation here, and it, of course, is Granit Xhaka in the middle of it. Seems to be holding on to Jack Grealish a little bit too long to the English liking. Haaland also getting involved, but Granit Xhaka clearly doesn't want to get involved with the big Norwegian. Xhaka is still protesting against Grealish. Michael Oliver's got hold of his wrist, trying to regain his attention as Arsenal are getting ready here for substitutions. Leonardo Trossard making his way onto the pitch, as well as former Chelsea man Jorginho as well. And the incident with Jack Grealish potentially could be Granit Xhaka's final appearance as we await the numbers. Ali making a or
Chelsea are 2-0 up.
Here against Manchester City. Harry, any reports coming from the London Stadium? What incredible, perfect timing. Gary, unfortunately, mate, you are going to have to comment on what you've just seen. Please, the floor is yours.
Maxwell Cornet opens out on the left-hand side, onside as well, and tries to hit the ball at quite a tight angle and completely misses. I would have swore if we wasn't on live, but unfortunately we are, so I can't swear.
Appreciation for that. Granit Xhaka up against Akanji. Good, strong challenge there from Akanji coming into the squad today for Ake, but the attack is broken down as Gundogan kicking the ball out. Guardiola in protest about something, personally his own one, as we played an hour here at the Etihad Stadium.
We're going into the 80th minute at the London Stadium. Notts Forest 3, Brighton 1 after a penalty from Gibbs White.
And do we have confidence on the Chelsea?
Yep. Brentford are 2-0 up at Stamford Bridge.
Absolutely crazy. As Martin Odegaard driving forward here for Arsenal with Saka up against Akanji. Haaland in the box doing defensive duties. Grealish further clearing the ball here, but it only goes as far as Rob Holding in the centre circle. And Wemo was the man that got the Brentford's second goal. Very pleased about that. As he is in my fantasy team. A lot of people criticise me for that choice. Well, there we go. There we go. I've got a goal. Fantastic. I would have gone Tony, but he was too expensive.
As we said, obviously you'll be able to watch Real Madrid versus Man City on Tuesday, the 9th of May at 7 p.m. on BT Sport 1. Not any promo there, by the way. That was just...
We do. Yeah, we deserve it. We deserve it.
We do deserve like at least one sponsor.
Thank you. Yes, we are a new channel, so I understand that it will take time, but hopefully some progress will be coming here. The second weekly live stream that we've been doing, watch-alongs, as well as our third weekly live stream will be out for you guys to enjoy tomorrow. So please do like and subscribe for that one.
It's a West Ham throw in here.
As well as other content that could potentially be coming onto the channel very, very soon, and a few more projects that hopefully you guys will be able to enjoy on the channel. Here's Zinchenko into Gabriel Jesus. Cleared away. And it falls into Rodri. And Rodri was very, very lucky to get out of there. And it's good defending from Thomas Partey.
82nd minute. Curtis Jones is now leaving the field and will now pass the captain's armband on to James Milner. And this is time wasting here, we think. Oh no, they're going to is going back to making the substitution after the throw-in. So far, whipping it in that box off the top, and it's going to be a West Ham corner.
Liverpool move up to 6th, by the way, with this. If they do win there,
Robertson.
Action in both games. And we'd love to see it. Jack Grealish over to Gundogan, who's got the space and time, and who was potentially going for an American for a rugby conversion there with that cross. But Gary, any more delight in that game, or should I have not cut you off?
No delight. I was just going to say that Robertson was trying to fire up the team, and Souček managing to get a pretty hard header, but still got his head to it and just couldn't keep it down to go into the back of the net, and it goes over the bar. 83rd minute in.
The Terminator, as I like to call Thomas Souček.
And the captain's armband has been given from Virgil van Dijk to James Milner. 3 different captains in one game. I don't think I've seen that happen very often.
It does at Liverpool.
We know that one.
Jack Grealish fouled here from Rob Holding. Jack Grealish consistently being the most fouled Premier League player over the last 2 seasons, and it's nice to see him continuing that this season. It was a clear foul, to be honest, between Holding, who liked the idea to elbow Grealish in the back rather than winning the ball. Different sport.
And West Ham win a free kick here after a foul on Souček by James Milner, who's just come on.
We know.
A little accidental stamp on the foot. West Ham looking for the equaliser here. Paqueta. Souček finding the ball on the right-hand side, and it's tried to get whipped in, and Cornet can't reach it. And again, with a great little control straight into the path of Kurt Zouma, who had a crazy little run a little bit earlier. It was only a little one, but it was still made some difference.
As things stand here at the Etihad Stadium, it is currently Manchester City 3, Arsenal 0, with Man City looking like they will be bridging the gap to 2 points with a game in hand. That game in hand coming on against Brighton, with a victory there against Brighton will see them lead the Premier League title for the first time this season, with also being 1 point ahead as well as goal difference as well. Massive win here for Manchester City, potentially on the horizon if we don't see a Arsenal comeback that we did see against Southampton last Friday. In the other game that we'll be covering tonight, Liverpool moving their way up to 6th if things stand at the London Stadium. Cody Gakpo and Joel Matip on the score sheet for Jurgen Klopp's team, cancelling out in form Brazil, Lucas Piquet. The other Chelsea 0 against Brentford, preventing Lampard from getting his first win. Are they going to be picked up in league survival hopes? Jack Grealish into Gundogan, back to Grealish, into Rodri. Rodri over to Kyle Walker. Man City not over and done with yet. That's a strong challenge here, and here comes Trossard. Man City with several players behind the ball, including Erling Haaland, which is interesting to see. Gabriel against Zinchenko into Thomas Partey. Back to Zinchenko. Arsenal trying to find a way through here. Guys, we do urge you, if you would like to drop in a comment into this live stream, we'll be reacting to this live. What are your thoughts on Man City's potential victory against Arsenal as things stand? What do you make of Liverpool progressing all the way up to 6th in the Premier League table? And what are your thoughts on Chelsea also losing 2-0 against Brentford? And can Nottingham Forest survive? Please do share your thoughts in the comment section below. We'll be reacting to them live on stream if appropriate. And do stick around for the end of the game and of both games, as we'll be reacting to the scores as well as the Premier League tables and giving our man of the matches, which of course will happen in a mere few minutes for Gary's game, as it seems to be rolling in to the late 80
We
minutes.
are 2 minutes away from full time, obviously plus injury time as well. There has been a handball shout at London Stadium, but nothing has been done.
Gabriel giving it to Trossard, who crosses the ball in, cleared away. Kevin De Bruyne now onto Jack Grealish, who is fouled by Bukayo Saka. And a substitution for both teams, starting off with the home. Starting off with the away side, I do apologise. Emil Smith-Rowe, the man to come on, as well as Riyad Mahrez. Riyad Mahrez making his way for Man City skipper Ilkay Gundogan as he takes a slow approach. And we also see the arrival of Emil Smith-Rowe, who seems to have run on the pitch without anybody ever seeing who is coming for him. And we're going to wait confirmation for that. It is the skipper Martin Odegaard, and I'm surprised by that, really, because Odegaard, is a massive captain. You need it in play in teams like this. I wouldn't have been surprised if Saka would go off. He's had a very quiet game in this one, same as Martinelli, who made the switch over with Trossard. So I'm surprised by that. I genuinely am, as the ball's been kicked out of play here for it looked like a head injury from Thomas Partey on John Stones. Surprisingly, no yellow card. The only yellow card has been distributed in this game. It's because of, that's nasty from Partey, who just caught on the side of his studs, on the scalp of John Stones, and that was naughty there from Thomas Partey, who I'm surprised has not picked up a yellow card. Like I mentioned, the only yellow card was given to Ruben Diaz following his outburst late in the first half against Ben White. Gary, over to you, my friend, at the London Stadium. Could I please have your man of the match and any closing thoughts you have on what's going on over there?
Man of the match I'd have to give to either Lucas Paqueta or Saïd Benrahma. Do I have to pick exactly one, or can I say both?
I'm going to be mean and say one.
I think it's got to be Lucas Paqueta then. I think Lucas Paqueta scoring the goal, creating most of the chances, pushing forward. And the thoughts of the game, I think Liverpool obviously wanted it more. I mean, West Ham, poor defending at certain points. And yeah, I just can't say nothing else.
Gary, of course, you're more than welcome to stick around for the remainder of Manchester City versus Arsenal. Of course, we'll get your full thoughts on the remaining Premier League results if you'd like to stick around and join me for analysis of Man City Arsenal, or I can invite you back on to the live stream following this, whatever you prefer.
Just invite me back on. I think that'll probably be the best option. Then we can just have a sit and talk, and then I guess that'll be the end.
Okay, all right, absolutely fantastic, Gary. Many thanks for your top flight analysis of what we've been getting from the London Stadium. So Gary will be returning to this stream in due course. There he goes. So Gary will join us for the remaining and the closing thoughts of all 4 Premier League games, as well as reaction to the to this big title race game, as well as the Premier League table, as well, and how it will look in the evening. And here we go again. It's round 3, Manchester City versus Arsenal, and a big altercation, this time between Jack Grealish and Thomas Partey for an off the camera incident. Michael Oliver really needing to distribute some yellow cards out in this game. Only Diaz getting that yellow card for a very similar outburst that Thomas Partey made against Ben White early on. Late on, in the first half, and it's actually Jack Grealish, the main man that Michael Oliver needs to speak to. Grealish clearly not happy. The yellow card is out, but for who? We'll have to wait and see. I'm sure Grealish is going to get what he is, and I think he's calling Thomas Partey over, and he is indeed. The Ghanaian is going to pick up as well a yellow card. Here's a look at this incident. It was Partey who seemed to be arguing with Grealish, despite Gundogan actually making the incident. Bernardo Silva making the incident. And Grealish just pushing Partey off the ball. Partey clearly gunning for the English left winger, putting hands on him first. Grealish was very, very quickly and understandably right to argue with him, but Grealish wanting to have further interaction with him. So a yellow card distributed to both players, I would say, would be the logical choice. "75 minutes, then Manchester City 3, Arsenal 0. Kick out from Ramsdale, enters to Gabriel, into Zinchenko, hoping to work the line, and look here, and a right idea there between Jorginho and Zinchenko, 2 of Arsenal's new signings in this ability. And honestly, it would be a shame to see Arsenal potentially losing the title. Obviously, there is, a lot of people have said that this is the game that will decide the title. It very much looks like the fact that Man City now regained massive control over this, but it's a real shame to see Arsenal, dropping massive and vital points this late on in the season. They've been a credit to this Premier League season, and it really is a shame. I was hoping for a little bit of a better performance from Arsenal tonight. A lot of people writing them off following that draw against Southampton. Here comes Grealish. One more into Akanji, who puts the ball in. No Man City player contesting with the ball. It's Jorginho who plays it into Saka, who beat with Jack Grealish for physicality. No Arsenal players there to support him apart from Trossard, who passes it back to Thomas Partey here. Got to be careful, the Ghanaian, who's on a yellow card as well, and has made some fierce challenges throughout the game. Into Saka now. He passes it to Ben White. This Arsenal counter-attack seemed to have fallen flat. Into Holding. Now into Jorginho. Into Trossard. Forced to come deep. Ben White now regaining control. Looking for a great ball here against Gabriel Jesus. Cut out by John Stones. Kanji losing out to Saka. And there was a yellow, and that was a vital handball there against Rodri. And here come another Manchester City substitution, this time World Cup winner Alvarez entering the fray. And his arrival onto the pitch looks like it will be following this Arsenal free kick. It's Saka who has control of the ball. Smith Rowe over it as well. And a few words are being disputed with Holding and Gabriel. Holding taking responsibility of making sure Bernardo Silva doesn't hear any tactics. And Arsenal fans seem to still be in full voice here, despite this 3-0 deficit. They seem to still be in full voice going behind the team, which is great to see that. You know, it's not really been seen massively. And it looks like this will be either a Saka or a Smith Rowe shot or cross into the box. Here, if Arsenal can get this goal, it could be game on. Saka with it and over the bar, not troubling Ederson at all. But it was a great opportunity, but it was an opportunity that Arsenal has had very few here, as Alvarez set to arrive onto the pitch. And it is the main man, Kevin De Bruyne, scoring 2 goals in this game, getting an assist as well for the John Stone header late on in the first half. It's been a dominant performance from the Belgian, whose first goal saw him take a low-driven shot against Ramsdale outside of the box. It was a free kick assist, which was headed in by John Stones. And then that third goal in the second half, assist from Haaland, and opened up his body underneath the body of Aaron Ramsdale. And what an incredible performance from the Belgian, who now comes on for World Cup winner Julian Alvarez. Arsenal are also making 2 substitutions here, which will be confirmed with us in just one moment. As we get into the 80th minute here. Here's Grealish, and as previously stated, Arsenal did make 2 substitutions. Gabriel Jesus coming off for Eddie Nketiah, and Saka has also came off for Reece Nelson. Gabriel Jesus getting a welcomed applause from his former team, Manchester City. Of course, the man who scored a vital goal against Southampton, securing 100 points for Manchester City to prevent Liverpool from winning the title, despite them getting the most amount of points from a second-place team in Premier League history without winning the title. And if Arsenal lose the Premier League title this season, they'll also make some unfortunate history by being the team that stayed at the top of the Premier League for the most amount of days without clinching the title. Here's Akanji. Man City taking a relaxing approach. Arsenal still pushing on here to try and diminish the goal difference. That could definitely play a factor. It played a factor in Manchester City's first title win way back there in 2012, when they beat fellow Manchester rivals Man United to the league in that iconic Aguero moment. In my opinion, the most iconic Premier League moment of all time. I'm sure that's something that will be debated. I'm sure. Speaking, of course, Manchester City versus Man United in race for silverware, the FA Cup final was confirmed to be the blue side of Manchester versus the red side. Manchester City hoping to add another FA Cup to their collection and on course to winning the treble as well. Fantastic skill there by Reece Nelson, who passes it out to Eddie Nketiah, who puts the ball in, and that was unlucky. Nobody got on the end of that. It was good work from the substitution, whose first big highlight in the game saw Reece Nelson and Eddie Nketiah linking up. It was a good ball in, and it was very close to Ederson to gain a touch there. But no Arsenal player on the receiving end of the cross from the England young striker. Earlier on in this live stream, the incredible match analysis from co-creator Gary Best, as he covered the West Ham versus Liverpool game, which has concluded at the London Stadium. Liverpool moving up all the way to 6th in the Premier League table for now, with a 2-1 victory against West Ham. Matip and Gakpo with the 2 goals, which cancelled out a opener and a thunderous strike from Brazilian informed player Lucas Paqueta. Chelsea, I believe, are still down by 2-0 against Brentford, preventing Lampard from getting his first victory as returning Chelsea boss, and Forest pushing for a massive win. That game is concluded, which will see them now push up even further in the table with a 3-1 victory over Brighton. That team being the Man City's game in hand, which is yet to be confirmed. But following this game, Gary will return with us with a post-match analysis of all 4 games, as well as a look at the table, and we will be back together alongside co-creator of the channel, Elliot, for our weekly live stream that'll be out on Thursday for all of you to enjoy. And then following that, clips will be distributed from that 3rd episode across the week, so you guys will be able to look at certain parts of the live stream without going through the full thing. Arsenal have a corner here. Ben White, Holding, and Gabriel making their way up, and it is Trossard, the man to put the ball in. A nervous-looking face, to be honest, from Pep Guardiola. Don't see many of them now as Manchester City manager. That's a poor cross in from Trossard, not even beating the first man and just skimming across the floor of the Manchester City box. Trossard is back here again into Nelson. That's nice play, though. And Trossard driving forward. Holding with the shot. And it's in! Oh, my goodness. Rob Holding with the goal. 4 minutes left of normal time on the clock. No celebration from Mikel Arteta. And very minor celebrations from the Arsenal fans, who knows there's a lot more work to do. Poor ball in from Trossard from the corner. Trossard was onside, and it was a great 1-2 between Xhaka and Trossard, and Holding, who had nobody marking him within that box, with a lovely striker-esque finish that beat Ederson, whose potential sight was blinded by Erling Haaland's potential defence. That is massive. As Jack Grealish leaving the pitch here. And I said that for Phil Foden. I said that Pep Guardiola looked worried. I was surprised to see it, and now I understand it. Arsenal could potentially get another goal here and make this game on. The momentum shifting to the Gunners and to the league leaders. Will it be enough time, though, to get 2 more goals and secure a vital point? The time is now for Arsenal to get something out of this game. They have possession of the ball now on their own box, with Holding passing out to Ben White now. And also, here come Arsenal again. Took down by Rodri, who has had a few incidences, and that's why he picks up a yellow card from Michael Oliver. Man City hoping that they don't concede any more. Rodri with his 5th booking of the season. Ball forward here. And it was too heavy hitted there by Nketiah, and in the potentially safe gloves of Ederson. "88 minutes gone. Manchester City 3, Arsenal 1. It is a big game for the title race. Man City has looked in control, but a goal from Rob Holding seems to be lifting the spirits of the Arsenal players. Ben White down the line, hoping to find Reece Nelson, cut out though by Akanji. Is it inside to Rodri? Now Haaland. What can Man City do here? Could they get a fourth and kill this game off instantly? Foden, and a wrestling match occurred between Partey and Haaland, who has been under some very fierce and physical challenges. Thomas Partey here, and he knew that Haaland was going to get past him and decided to engage in an MMA/wrestling fight there with the Norwegian. So I'm surprised Partey's still even on the field here, because he has engaged in some quite physical interactions with the Manchester City players throughout the course of this game, I will admit. Michael Oliver knows that potentially one other incident, and Partey might not have many lives left on this pitch here today. Interesting free kick choices, which leads to an Arsenal throw-in, just kicking out a play as we are awaiting the 90th minute, and we are awaiting any added time. I believe there'll be a couple due to the incident between Grealish and Partey that led to both players getting a yellow card. Foden unable to keep that in, as we await 5 added minutes for this game here. Arsenal have time. Will they use the time wisely, or will it run out in front of their very eyes? Man City know that potentially one more goal will cancel this game out and play it into their favour. Ruben Diaz now operating the ball, passes it out to Akanji. Is it the possession control that Pep Guardiola is so well known for in his managerial career be coming into massive fruition here? Can't risk any more. And that's a very big game as well. Tottenham versus Manchester United. Man United having a bit of a scare in the FA Cup semi-final against Brighton. They go away to Spurs, who was humiliated by Newcastle at the weekend, who are also in action against relegation-troubled Everton, who know that they need to pick up some points as well, with Forest collecting 3 points tonight. Leicester and Leeds are sharing of the points as well. It's big for Sean Dyche to get something, but they are against informed Newcastle, who push for more Champions League glory. Gary is waiting in the wings here in the studio. He'll be with us to react to the final games. As the final few minutes here, I'll talk off, and it is time for me to give my player of the match or man of the match. And it has to be the main man, Kevin De Bruyne, who has absolutely into once again in this game. Good ball in here, and it was by and just couldn't get on of it. But coming back to De Bruyne, 2 goals, assist, a massive control from the off. Again, officially with the opportunity, and it was solid defending here. Oh, and Mahrez is dispossessed, and it could be Haaland's moment. Mahrez not in any rush. He gave the ball away as well, which closing moments in this game as Phil Foden drives up the field into Haaland, And it's a free kick following a foul on Phil Foden, and Man City are in. Oh, look at that! The golden locks of Erling Haaland. He's decided to take his hair bubble out, and now the blonde hair of Erling Haaland in the wind here. He's just sorting it out as well. Haaland, mate, just focus on the game, mate, if you could. You have great hair. You've shampooed and conditioned it well. Just focus on the game at hand, mate. I know there's not long left. Man City in no rush to take this free kick. That is kicked out of play. Similarly, Arsenal's in no rush to take this throw in, knowing that 2 goals in the next 40 seconds is near sheer of impossible. Especially with the fact that Foden's just took that out of the sky. Haaland! And it is in! Finally, Erling Haaland gets his goal. It was the hair bubble him back throughout the whole game, it seemed. But the flowing hair of Erling Haaland also contributes to the flowing of goals from the Norwegian striker. Man City definitely did need the goal to impact the result, but my God, will it help their goal difference? Arsenal, with their head in their hands and their heads firmly on the ground of the Etihad pitch, and it does not seem to be the apprentice getting one over the master Pep Guardiola anytime soon. Is an assist from Foden, a goal from Haaland, and poor goalkeeping, you have to say, from Ramsdale, who did get a hand to it. They've got a fourth. Haaland's finally on the score sheet, and it is Manchester City 4, Arsenal 1. 2 points difference between the two sides now, and it seems to be like Man City are in the driving seat once more. It is all over. Pep Guardiola, Mikel Arteta embrace a very short hug. I don't think Arteta will be round much for small talk. He knows now that he's got a massive mountain to climb if he wants to secure the Premier League title. It was a Kevin De Bruyne masterclass with 2 goals and an assist here today, and it is all not over. Haaland seemed to be Ben White involved. Haaland was actually going over to the lines. Thank very much. Engaging in a world of words. There we go. I've got my words out. Against with by far De Bruyne with an assist for Stone's goal at the end, the final act of the first half, with Diaz altercation as well with Ben White, the first of many that included Partey and Grealish going at it, and there with Ben White and Haaland as well, rounding off a high intense game. Speaking of Haaland, it was his goal, his 4th goal, that secured all 3 points for City, despite them already winning it. City now are 2 points behind Arsenal, with an absolutely massive mountain to climb for Mikel Arteta to secure the first Premier League title for Arsenal in 20 years. It seems to be coming out of their hands and into the hands of the golden locked Erling Haaland. And finished here at the Etihad. Manchester 4, Arsenal. Gary returns to us after a very well-deserved break, after he covered Liverpool's victory over West Ham earlier on that season. Liverpool enter 6th, 1 point behind Aston Villa as well in the race for European football. Gary, a comment first and foremost on this game, because Manchester City now seems to be in the massive dominant stage of this title race, and it's secured with a big victory here this season.
Yeah, obviously, I think it's got to the point where Arsenal, I hate to say it, have bottled it. I think Man City are in that cruising zone now, and it's just going to get worse for Arsenal from there. But I think Man City have got this now. No offense to like Arsenal, but obviously I wanted Arsenal to win. I wanted to kind of play and Arsenal to win this match, but it's still not looking good at all for Arsenal. And like I said, Arsenal played absolutely terrible. Obviously, I didn't watch the game, but obviously from how Man City have sounded like it, they've absolutely dominated. I think they have performed poorly. On the Liverpool West Ham, I think West Ham switched off a lot of the time. I think they were just cruising it, as in the first goal. Then the second goal went in. I think we were trying for that push for that equaliser. We had multiple chances to put it away, but I don't think we deserved to draw at that. And obviously Liverpool beating us kind of ends it there, really, for the wins.
But there you see the Premier League table. Apologies to my very, very quick exit to some technical issues within here in my place of residence. But as you can see there, Arsenal 2 points now behind Man City, actually with 2 games in hand. So this is not going to go well. I believe it's still 1 game. I just don't think it's been updated actually for Manchester City, because I'm sure it is. It's 1 game, isn't it?
Yeah, Brighton.
Yeah, Brighton. So that was obviously not updated, so apologies for that. But Manchester City, as you can see, they're 5 wins in the last 5. Arsenal suffering another defeat. That's 4 games now without a victory for Mikel Arteta's side. As previously discussed earlier on in the live stream, Newcastle, despite losing against Aston Villa a couple of weeks ago, remain in solid Champions League places. They are level on points with Manchester United, who both play tomorrow. Man United against Spurs, Newcastle against troubling Everton. Aston Villa, with a fantastic run of form under Unai Emery, is in 5th. Liverpool move up all the way to 6th with a victory tonight against West Ham United. Brighton, despite losing, operate in 8th. Brentford picking up a vital victory against struggling Chelsea, operate 9th. As you can see there, Chelsea without a win in 5, and without a win for new manager Frank Lampard. West Ham United still in 14th, 3 points behind Wolves and Crystal Palace, who both played each other yesterday. Wolves, the team out of that one. And as you can see here in the bottom, a vital 3 points for Nottingham Forest against Brighton sees them now level on points with Leeds United, dropping Dean Smith's Leicester City back in to the relegation zone as they were held against Leeds. Everton playing tomorrow against Newcastle with a victory there could put Forest back in the relegation zone and Leicester further in to danger. Southampton still without a win in 5 games, operating 20th and the most likely of a relegation fight to go down. So, Gary, many thanks to you, my good friend, for joining me here on this live watch along and covering West Ham against Liverpool. Thank you very much to everybody that has listened and watched this incredible live stream. Thank you so much for all the incredible support. Please like and subscribe to the channel so you never miss any of our uploads, which will be occurring tomorrow with our weekly live stream. Please do check out the clips from episode 1 if you have not had a chance, and also check out episode 2 as well. so much incredible support we've been having. So please do keep that up. We massively appreciate it. So from myself, Kieran Green, alongside Gary, we give you a lovely evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. And thank you very much for checking us out here on the Footy Fan Zone. See you in a bit.